Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you a beef patty recipe. This recipe is so incredible. It's just, oh my goodness, it's so good. Let's go ahead and get started. We need some all-purpose flour in a bowl, and to that I'm going to add in some granulated sugar. Go ahead and add that, and we're also going to be needing some salt as well as some black pepper. All the amounts, of course, will be listed below in the description box. We're also going to be needing some turmeric powder. Go ahead and add that in. And we're also going to be needing a little bit of curry powder. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure and mix together really well our dry ingredients before we proceed to our next step. So you're going to go ahead and mix that really well. And then we're also going to be needing some shortening for this and some cold unsalted butter. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my shortening and as well as my cold unsalted butter that I've cut up into small little cubes. Just like so. I'm going to go ahead and add all that in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to toss my butter in my flour together so everything gets coated in flour so it's easier to press together. But we're going to use our fingers and we're going to be pressing in the butter with the flour and the shortening, all of that to combine together. We're going to start pressing in with our fingers, sort of like pinching it. You can use a pastry cutter if you have one, but I just like to use my hands until it becomes a nice crumbly mixture, just like so. Little chunks of butter running through is perfect, but you don't want too big bits of butter, but just like it's nice and crumbly. And then to that we're going to add in some cold water. I'm going to add in half of my cold water, and then we're going to just use my spoon just to kind of combine this together. So I'm going to use my hands before I add in the rest of my water just to kind of bring it in to see exactly how much water we need. I like using my hands anytime I'm making a pie crust or anything like that, just so I know that I have the right consistency of the dough, but I will have all the amounts listed below. I added in the rest of my water, and I just brought it together like so into a nice little dough ball. I'm trying not to overwork it too much, and I'm going to place this in some cling wrap. And just cover it up with the cling wrap, and going to place this in the fridge for about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, and let's get on to our next step. I've got an onion here that I've chopped up into really small pieces, some grated garlic, soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, ketchup, paprika, a chicken bullion cube, some hot pepper of your choice, flour, and the meat of your choice, ground meat. I'm using ground turkey. You can of course use ground beef or ground chicken. Into my saucepan here, it's a non-stick saucepan, so I'm not using any vegetable oil. On medium heat, I'm going to go ahead and add in my meat. I'm going to break it up. Now, if you're not using a non-stick, you can just add in about a half a tablespoon of vegetable oil. Break up my meat like so, and then when it's halfway cooking, I'm going to add in my paprika and my chicken bullion cube. Mix that around really well, and you want to add in your onion that I've just chopped up really fine, garlic that I've grated, as well as the hot pepper. Now this is habanero peppers, and these are not spicy, so that's why I'm using 2 of them. They're just not that spicy to me. So I'm going to go ahead and add all that in and mix it up really well. Now I'm going to add in my soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and ketchup. I'm going to go ahead and add that in and mix it up really well. And then we're going to go ahead and cover this and let this cook for about 5 minutes covered, just so all those flavors come together as one. Go ahead and cover that up. Now after we let this cook for 5 minutes, we're going to want to add in some water. Now I have no idea where the clip is for that, and I don't even know if I did make a clip for it, but we're going to go ahead and remove the lid after 5 minutes, give it a stir, add in some water, and we're going to go ahead and cover it again and cook it for 10 minutes with the water this time, so everything kind of boils away, breaks down, and comes together. And then we're just going to go ahead and remove the lid after 10 minutes, and we're going to go ahead and add in our flour. And add in a flour and mix that really well. Make sure all that flour is incorporated. Just like so. And then we're just going to cook this uncovered for another 10 minutes so all the water just gets evaporated and it thickens up into a really nice filling for our beef patties. or chicken patties, or turkey patties, or whatever patties you're making. So it's going to cook down and it's going to thicken up and it's going to look something like so. Make sure all the water is evaporated. Remove it from the heat so it cools before we start filling these. So I'm going to go ahead and get a board here. And I'm going to flour that really well. I have my chilled dough and my cooled meat filler. And I'm going to make sure and get flour on my board as well as my rolling pin. And I'm going to take about 2.5 tablespoons amount of the dough, roll it into a ball. Roll that ball into the flour, and then just, if you ever need any more flour, get some from the side. I like to keep it on the side like so. Take my rolling pin and we're going to start rolling this out. So I'm going to roll it out so, turn it to the side and roll it again. And then we're going to end up folding this. So just make sure everything is really nice and floured. You don't want to use too much flour, but you do want to make sure that nothing sticks as well. So I'm going to roll it out and then we're going to go ahead and fold it. Fold in one side like so, and then get the bottom part and put it into the center as well. And then we're just going to roll this out. And I'm using a bowl that's about 5.5 inches in diameter. I'm going to use that as my guide to how big I want these patties. I think it's a perfect size. It's not too big and it's not too small. So I'm going to go ahead and use my bowl, put it in the center of my dough, and then use a knife to just cut off any of the excess. Then we're going to take our meat mixture and we're going to fill it with about 1.5 tablespoons amount of meat. We don't want too much because it could kind of just spill out the sides when it's baking. We're just going to put that on one side, leaving a border. And then we're just going to go ahead and take the other side and fold it over, just like so. Take our fingers and press the ends together. Then we're going to use our fork, dip it into some flour, and use that fork to crimp and seal the edges. And we're just going to poke a few holes on top so that the steam can escape. And this is going to go into your preheated oven for 20 to 25 minutes. You can use a baking tray lined with parchment paper, or you could spray it with nonstick cooking spray. And that's it, guys. This recipe is done and it is so delicious. It is one of my favorites around here. I think everything is a favorite around here. We just like good food. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this recipe. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.